following program contains political discourse, opinions, and footage that many viewers may find offensive. It should not be viewed by anyone ever.
In fact, when she wears high heels, she strikes oil.
He discovered America is what he did. He was a brave Italian explorer. And in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story.
Your dad is gay.
Who's gonna sleep with these ugly-ass, broke, crazy, deranged, TDS liberal women?
Your dad is a closet homosexual.
You're like the population of India. You're loud, sweaty, and double in size every year.
Day 1 of the government shutdown.
It is now day 2.
3rd day. Day 4.
Day 5.
Day 6.
1 week. The 8th day.
Day 9.
Day 10.
11th day.
Day 12.
On the first day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the second day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the third day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the fourth day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the fifth day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 5 lies vaccine. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the sixth day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 6 parks are closing. 5 lies vaccine. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the seventh day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 7 ships not sailing, 6 parks are closing. 5 lies vaccine. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the 8th day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 8 schools unfunded, 7 ships not sailing, 6 parks are closing. 5 lies vaccine. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the 9th day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 9 planes grounded, 8 schools unfunded, 7 ships not sailing, 6 parks are closing. 5 lies vaccine. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the 10th day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 10 courts delaying, 9 planes grounded, 8 schools unfunded, 7 ships not sailing, 6 parks are closing. 5 lies vaccine. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. Whew. Man, this is a doozy, but it's fun.
Democrats, unfortunately, are continuing to play political games. Millions of American federal workers are under enormous financial stress as a result, wondering how they will pay their bills and take care of their families.
I make the solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop.
On the 11th day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 11 Dems still crying, 10 courts delaying, 9 planes grounded, 8 schools unfunded, 7 ships not sailing, 6 parks are closing. 5 lies vaccine. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the 12th day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 12 bills not passing, 11 Dems still crying, 10 courts delaying, 9 planes grounded, 8 schools unfunding, 7 ships not sailing, 6 parks are closing. 5 lies vaccine. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes. Oof. And some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. Come on, Democrats, you're so lame. No more money for los illegals. America first.
Welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Jonathan Shuttlesworth, take 2. Sorry about that. I mentioned we could get taken off of YouTube because of what I'm going to play with the Cartel War, and if we do to watch on the app, and somehow that got interpreted to shut YouTube down, which I would never do without giving you warning or how to get the app. Having said that, you should get the app and watch on there. Glad to see that you found it, Leisha. There it is, the Revival Today app. It's free. Everything's cataloged right there. Plus, you're not supporting communist bastards that run YouTube and are only being friendly right now because they know they're going to get in trouble with the Department of Justice if they're not. But, you know, as soon as Trump's on his way out, who knows which way it's going to go. Breaking, Trump to meet with Putin, and the cartel war is about to begin. And I got great footage to show you both that and what's going on in Russia. Let's check the news. Trump is planning land strikes on Venezuela. Roll it.
Fox News alert, Trump's not just taking aim at Maduro's coke boats. Now the CIA is getting involved. Senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has the latest. Kevin.
Evening, Jesse. Now, to be clear, in the special ops world, covert action inside other countries is common tradecraft. And if there's an escalation to achieve an objective, so be it. In fact, the president said as much today in the Oval Office, acknowledging the intensifying pressure on Venezuela and the renegade Maduro regime in an effort to interdict narco-trafficking coming out of that country. And while that effort has notably disrupted seaborne traffic, the president said today, Jesse, the time may have come to move inland.
Are you considering options, are you considering strikes on land?
Well, I don't want to tell you exactly, but we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control. We've had a couple of days where there isn't a boat to be found. And that, I view that as a good thing, not a bad thing. But we had tremendous amounts coming in by boats, by very expensive boats. You know, they have a lot of money, very fast, very expensive boats that were pretty big. And the way you look at it is every boat that we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives.
Impressive indeed. And while strikes on Venezuelan territory would represent a significant escalation, the president's also made it clear that, look, if it drives Maduro from power, restores order to the region, that is a win for all countries in the Caribbean.
Does the CIA have authority to take out Maduro?
Oh, I don't want to answer a question like that. That's a ridiculous question for me to be given. Not really a ridiculous question, but wouldn't it be a ridiculous question for me to answer? But I think Venezuela is feeling heat.
Meantime, Jesse, the administration insists you should expect more strategic, lethal, kinetic strikes in the days and months ahead.
Polymarket has it at 53% that we're going to go to war with Venezuela at some point, or there'll be retaliation by Venezuela. Next. President Trump said last week that he told Zelensky he might give Putin an ultimatum. Either Russia holds serious peace talks or Ukraine gets tomahawks. U.S. President Donald Trump will speak today by phone, that's today, with Russian President Vladimir Putin, according to reports from Axios, only a day before his meeting Friday at the White House with Ukrainian President Zelensky, where the two leaders are expected to discuss the transfer of additional air defenses and long-range offensive capabilities, including the Brit Gusmus 109 Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles to Ukraine. So it's getting serious, and Trump, off the momentum of what he did in Israel, I think, you know, I was thinking on the way in that you can't tell me Putin and Zelensky didn't see that. The love the world has for a peacemaker and doesn't want to get in on that action. So I think it's at least 50-50. Next. Documented proof. Hamas reclaims Gaza with exit. So this is 2 days after the ceasefire. You had Hamas roll into a part of Gaza City that's owned by a big clan or family, powerful family, and just started, Hamas came in dressed as medics and started hacking people to death. 25 people killed. So where's the outcry? See, if you claimed that you cared about Palestinians being killed or harmed, and then now you say nothing, that they're being harmed by their own people, then you just are a Jew hater, and you should admit that. Because you had no care. If you're not having protests in the streets now, then it never had anything to do with the Palestinians did it. It had to do with you hating Israel. Roll it.
Amid the U.S. brokered ceasefire, and with Israeli troops withdrawn from parts of Gaza,
what a hellhole.
Hamas has moved swiftly to reassert control over the Strip the only way it knows how, through brute force.
حاليا في حملة شرسة بتقوم فيها ميليشياتهم ضد من يخالفهم رأي أو من كان لهم ثارات معهم خلال الحرب أو شكلوا أي نقطة خلاف مع حماس، يعني بيطلعوا بجبات تويوتا وبأسلحة ومجنومات وأمورهم يعني للأسف توحي أنه قد يمكثوا في غزة لفترة طويلة.
Pause it. If we do get taken off of YouTube for this, it's irritating me because people should see this. Otherwise, if there's no video shown and you're not allowed to show video because it's graphic, then if you just make statements like the ones I made, no, that doesn't happen. They don't do that to their own people. And then you can't prove it because you can't show it. But here it is. Continue.
On Sunday, less than 48 hours after the ceasefire took hold, clashes erupted between Hamas security forces and the powerful Dagmush clan in Gaza City, leaving at least 25 members of the family dead. Eyewitnesses reported Hamas gunmen arriving disguised as medics and ambulances.
I agree, Cody.
Carrying out raids and executions. A single day later, on Monday, gruesome videos surfaced on social media showing Hamas
That's not Israel.
executing Gaza.
That's not IDF. That's
Israel,
Hamas shooting their own people.
Main square, in full view of
They're
the public.
lunatic, demon-possessed, blood-hungry murderers.
هذه ليست طريقة تطبيق القانون. هذا مش قانون. إعدام الأشخاص في الشارع.
Isaiah said, weren't they traitors, though? That's what Hamas said. They had no trial. Does that make it okay? So if you just call someone a traitor, you can blow them away in the street and make all the residents, force them out of their homes to come watch them get shot? How do you justify that? Continue.
حتى كانوا ينتموا لحماس وعاقبتهم على أنهم وقفوا مع عشائرهم منهم أحد أبناء عائلة المجايدة الذي هو من وحدة سهم وانضم لعائلته تعاطفا معها فقامت حماس بإعدامه في وضح النهار انتقاما على وقوفه مع عائلته التي هوجمت بالقذائف.
On Monday, the Al-Majida family released a statement on social media declaring their full support for Hamas and its security forces, effectively submitting to the terror group's rule. Gazans we've spoken to fear this could set a pattern as Trump's 20-point peace plan moves into phase 2.
Plus, what Mike Henning said is right. Hamas is killing pro-peace Palestinians. Being a traitor can include helping facilitate distribution of food from Israel to your own people. And I want to know, now, if you were blaming Israel for the famine, the fake famine in Gaza, where the children were starving to death while the parents were 400 pounds, then I want to see if they're getting food now. What a stupid position that you took if you were pro-Palestine and anti-Israel. You're shown what a complete fool you are right now. Continue.
بقمع عائلات عديدة مناهضة لها ومناهضة لفكرها الظلامي وفرض هيمنتها من خلال الناس التي تدعم هذه الحرب.
زي ما سببوا عائلة المجايدة، انتوا قاعدين بتنزلوا فلوس العائلات في الأرض.
Under President Trump's peace plan, Hamas was not meant to govern Gaza or retain its weapons. Yet the terror group has openly refused to disarm.
حركة حماس لن تسلم سلاحها، هذا أمر غير خاضع للتفاوض. قيادات حماس لن تخرج. قيادات حركة حماس شعارها إما أن ننتصر أو نستشهد.
تحاول أن تراوغ الإدارة الأمريكية أو تخدع الإدارة الأمريكية بأنها تريد تسليم السلاح والانسحاب من المشهد، لكن في الحقيقة وفي الواقع حماس تجيش وتسلح العديد مقابل مبالغ مالية.
Last week, President Trump indicated that he had authorized Hamas to temporarily handle internal security in Gaza.
I would like to hear what Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens have to say right now. How you can't get behind how Israel treats the people in the Gaza. Okay, now they're getting openly executed. Where's your care for that? You never cared about the Palestinians. It was just a license to hate Jews and hate Israel. So just be honest about it. Just say you hate Jews. Continue.
Partly to facilitate hostage release. But on Tuesday, as reports of executions and other atrocities mounted, the U.S. president took a sharper stance.
We have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently.
Sure will.
من داخل قطاع غزة ضد هذول الناس وأشبه العصيان وأشبه الثورة ضدهم بشكل كبير جدا لحد ما نقدر إحنا نوصلهم لمرحلة إنه لازم إحنا نخلص منكم. أنتوا جماعة مرفوضين. حماس برا
Next. Isaiah Love. Didn't Israel allow Hamas to be created and fund them? That's your second stupid anti-Semitic, anti-Israel comment. So if you're going to hold those views, maybe change your name from Isaiah, who's a Jewish prophet. Just a thought. Senator Fetterman, roll it.
I'm the only Democrat in my family. I grew up in a conservative part of Pennsylvania, and I grew up and I know and I love people that voted for President Trump. But they are not fascists. They're not Nazis. They're not trying to destroy the Constitution and those things. And that's part of another thing. I refuse to call people Nazis or fascists, or I would never compare anybody to Hitler and those things. And now that kinds of extreme rhetoric is going to continue. We're going to be more likely in resulting in extreme kind of outcomes and political violence and doing all these kinds of things like Charlie Kirk. For me, all I could say is like, let people grieve. Give people the space. I'm not going to use that terrible thing and that Pasek assassination to make my argument and try to put out my views. It's like, my God.
This is from our area of Pennsylvania. I think he's from Braddock, which is like a part of the greater Pittsburgh area. I never liked Dr. Oz. I always thought he was a fake Republican. I didn't care that Fetterman beat him. And now that Fetterman's had this major change where he breaks rank with the Democrat Party all the time, I would probably vote for him over whoever the Republicans are going to run. Probably. Continue.
You know, he's a father that had his neck blown out by a bullet. And now people have forgotten. President Trump was in my state, was shot in the head. And if that would have, could you imagine where our nation would be if he was hit in the same way with Kirk? We really got to turn the temperature down. And we can agree to disagree on these kinds of things. But right now, shutting down the government, I just can't take it that.
Next. Yes, Isaiah wrote from Google, Israel did not create or formally allow Hamas to form. So your original post was wrong. So thank you for disproving your own point. Even CNN admits that again, you can believe whatever you want, but if you're going to take an anti-Israel stance with the name Isaiah, you look like a true moron. You should change it to Akbar or Muhammad. But when you have the name of a Jewish prophet, maybe the most famous Jewish prophet, and you post anti-Israel statements, you seem kind of bipolar. Even CNN admits that the Democrat Party's cooked. Roll it.
Okay, so, if you go back 6 months ago, you go back to April, Cape Baldwin, what were we looking at? Well, we were looking at the Democrats with a very clear shot of taking control of the U.S. House of Representatives, according to the Kalshi prediction market odds. We saw them at an 83% chance. But those odds have gone plummeting down. Now we're talking about just a 63% chance, while the GOP's chances up like a rocket, up like gold, up from 17% to now a 37% chance. So we'll look like a pretty clear, likely Democratic win in the House come next year. Has become much closer to a toss-up at this point, although still slightly leaning Democratic.
What's changed? What are you seeing?
Okay, what has changed? Well, why don't we just take a look at the national picture first? Take a look at voters and how they're feeling about things. And we can take a look at the generic congressional ballot. And I want to take a look and compare it to 2017, 2018, right? Because that's sort of the baseline. That was, of course, the first Trump term. That was where Democrats were sort of keeping pace. You go back to April, look at the generic congressional ballot. What'd you see? You see +3 Democrats in 2025 in April.
Jonathan, can you pray for my wife and I? We lost our 17-year-old daughter to acute myeloid leukemia on October 1st and later to rest last Thursday. Her name is Caitlin Cross. I will pray for you today. I'm very, very sorry to hear that. Hope I can get you a little laugh in at the expense of other people today, and then I'll pray for you. Love you. Sorry. Very, very sorry you had to go through that. Very sorry. God bless you. Keep going.
You see +3 Democrats back in April of 2017. Now jump over to this side of the screen. What happens? Well, the Democrats are no longer keeping pace with the pace that they were setting back in 2017, 2018. You look back in 2017, you saw that the Democrats had leaped up to an 8-point advantage. I remember covering this. I remember a lot of folks, including myself, saying, you know what, Republicans look pretty decent right now in terms of the fact that they had the House, they had the Senate, they had the presidency, but things were likely going to flip.
Cody.
And I was looking for the same signs this year. The bottom line is it hasn't happened, Kate Baldwin. It hasn't happened. Democrats have stayed basically steady. They have fallen off the pace. Democrats are way out ahead back in 2017 on the generic congressional ballot. And now we're basically looking at Democrats ahead. But again, they are so far in back of the pace that they set back there. And so I think what a lot of folks are seeing, folks like myself, are saying, wait a minute, given what we might be seeing in...
So just to sum up what he's saying, there is not public outcry against Trump's policies. Dems were +3 in April after these deportations, ICE raids, all this stuff that MSNBC freaks out about. It's still +3. No one cares. Keep going.
Districting. Is this +3 going to be enough, Kate Baldwin?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. One change from that cycle is also this mid-decade redistricting effort that we've been covering so much. You add that in, and what do you get?
Okay, so we add that, and we take a look at the national picture, but then we, of course, taking a look at the state legislators, right? They are potentially changing things, and there are two things that are going on here. First off, net mid-decade redistricting gains. If both sides max out at this point, there are more Republican gains possible than Democratic gains. Yes, the Democrats might try to counter a Texas and a California, but you go along in the different states, and basically Democrats run out of room where Republicans are able to gain and gain. If both sides max out, we're probably looking at a GOP gain of +7 House seats. That doesn't even take into account the potential gutting of the VRA that is right now going to be in front of the Supreme Court. If you add that in, you could be looking...
Voting Rights Act.
What? Yes, exactly right.
That's right, Chris.
Voting Rights Act. If you add that in, then you could be looking about adding 10, 12, 15, 17 on top of this 7 seats. So I think a lot of folks like myself are looking at this. We're seeing, hey, wait a minute. Those national polls are, Democrats are not gaining the way that we expected. Then you add in the fact that the state legislators are adding potentially more GOP seats like they've already done down in Texas, like they've done in Missouri. And then you add in the potential gutting of the VRA, and all of a sudden it becomes much more difficult for Democrats to gain, especially given that they are not keeping up with their 2017, 2018 pace.
And as you said, that also makes it difficult to compare it to past examples in history because this is such a different new landscape that we're looking at,
It's a different new landscape, and we're not quite sure how much Democrats will have to be ahead of the National House vote in order to gain control.
All right. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you.
Next. Oh, you guys made it that quick. That's awesome. Here's our upcoming calendar. Virginia Beach, Virginia, this Sunday night. Elizabeth City, North Carolina, Monday through Friday. Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Sounds like there was some Indian cowboy violence there from the name of that town. The greater Tulsa area at Power Chapel. Fort Worth, Texas, a night of healing. That's our crusade, November 1st. Lamarck, Texas, November 5th. Omaha, Nebraska with Brother Copeland, 7th and 8th. Montreal, 17th through the 21st. Phoenix, Arizona, November 20. What? Why am I in Phoenix, Arizona, November 22nd? What's that? At the Tapatio Cliffs Resort, our old hotel we met in? Is that a Sunday? Can somebody give me some information on that? All right, I'll look it up. I'll look it up if it's a Sunday. It's a Saturday. So we're having church then? So the church we rent isn't available or something? And then on the graphic, you're missing the ministers' conference. Let me see the big thing again. Yeah, so the 11th through the 14th is ministers' conference, breakthrough in ministry, and then we have, I'm doing a crusade in Nigeria, and I'm speaking in Uganda as well. So it's almost complete. Don't just put the American stuff on, put the international, because I know I'm out way more than that in November. Next. Find out about that Tapatio Cliffs Resort thing. Stephen A. Smith reveals why Kamala Harris could not get a deal with Hamas the way President Trump did. Roll it.
Out of respect to Kamala Harris, let me tell you why she deserves an explanation as to why I don't think she could have gotten it done. Because leading into
Bring it back to the beginning of the video.
What was the problem?
And pause it. Pause. That's Chris Cuomo. That guy is such a schmuck, trying to reinvent himself as like a centrist. Just so he can, News Nation wants to be a center media source, which is a terrible business plan because nobody wants centered news. People want, if they're conservative, they want to hear liberals bashed. If they're liberal, they want to hear conservatives bashed. There's no market for what they're trying to do. Secondly, he's such a schmuck that I would never believe is a centrist after how he handled himself during COVID. Remember his fake quarantine? Remember he was pro Black Lives Matter riots. He was pro-vaccine. It felt like anybody made harsh statements about anybody that didn't get vaccinated. He's such a fraud. I just wanted to say that. Continue.
Out of respect to Kamala Harris, let me tell you why she deserves an explanation as to why I don't think she could have gotten it done. Because leading into the election, what was the problem? It was extreme capitulation to the progressive left, who were finding reasons to side with, I don't want to say siding with Hamas. I certainly don't want to accuse them of that. But it just seemed like whatever they wanted, the left that wasn't far left was leaning more left. And so because of that, why should we believe that all of a sudden she'd get into office and she'd forget what she thought got her there? That's the only reason I'm saying that. Having said that, I'd like to get back to the person that asked.
I like him more and more, and I like Fetterman more and more. Next. Nancy Pelosi snaps at our reporter. Roll it.
Congresswoman Pelosi, are you at all concerned that the new January 6th committee will find you liable for that day? Are you at all concerned about the new January 6th committee finding you liable for that day? Why did you refuse the national...
She has no business being in office. Just her censure. She's completely out of it. Now, I'm just guessing here. I have no facts. She would have to take some kind of drug cocktail, legal I'm talking about, to begin the day and get through the day. And then you look, she has to be led to her vehicle. She can barely walk and she's twitching. Her central nervous system's gone. Play it from the beginning.
Congresswoman Pelosi, are you at all concerned that the new January 6th committee will find you liable for that day? Are you at all concerned about the new January 6th committee finding you liable for that day? Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know. We still have questions. Thank you.
Yeah, the drugs wore off. Next. 37 years ago yesterday, Kirk Gibson did what seemed impossible. Roll it.
The game right now is at the plate. High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
Can you guys check if Kirk Gibson's still alive? I know he has some kind of neurological disease. I can't remember whether it was Parkinson's or what, which is sad. Lasorda, Steve Sachs, Mike Scioscia. Great day. Next. Here's Yossi Gestetner. The freest Palestinians, check this out. This is absolutely, he's still alive. Good. The freest Palestinians in the Middle East live in Israel, while the lost, oppressed ones live in Gaza under the savage, barbaric Hamas that subjugates and executes Gazans on camera. Yet pro-Palestinian activists and politicians side with Hamas against Israel. Remember that. The freest Palestinians in the Middle East live in Israel. Next. That's right, Luis. You're a good guy. I like having you in the church there in LA. Hey, it made national coverage. I knew it would. I knew this would tick people off, which is why I posted it. My brother and sister, what's stopping you from getting a tattoo of your pastor on your leg? This was for Pastor Appreciation Day from one of our congregants. Roll it. There's me twice.
Jesus is coming back.
Pizza card and Applebee's gift ticket. Next. Not sure if you've seen this. Roll it.
Why is it always Jesus? Why not Buddha? Why not Muhammad? Why not any of the others? Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why are there so many religions in the world, but only one is constantly attacked? Only one is mocked in movies, ridiculed in music videos, blasphemed by celebrities, cursed on the streets, and silenced in classrooms. Why is it Christianity? Why is it Jesus? Because deep down, even the darkness knows who the real threat is. They don't mock Buddha, they don't mock Muhammad, they don't dare disrespect other gods. But Jesus, his name is dragged through the mud daily, and they laugh about it. But here's the thing they won't say out loud. that Jesus is truly the way, the truth, and the life, the one name that demons tremble at. And no one comes to the God Almighty except through him. The enemy knows it. Hell knows it. The elites who runs the world knows it. That's why many celebrities are given the contracts that restricts them from mentioning his name. And this world, it's doing everything it can to keep you from knowing it too, because they know we are living the last days. You are being distracted.
Next. New features on the app. If you haven't downloaded it, you should download it like literally right now, because I'm going to show you some stuff at the end of what's going on in the cartel war that could get us taken off. YouTube, Revival Today app, and there's all the different features they have. Next. Roll it.
Well, if you're thinking about winning the election, and so now that's all going to come down to 7 or 8 states, and that's really that matters. And I would like to remind everybody, because we all know that Trump ran the table all of those kinds of states. And now you can't ever forget, these are the states that are going to determine who's going to be the next administration. And now a lot of the things, the extremism that people turned their back in 24, and that's how we kind of came up short. I campaigned for thousands and thousands of miles across Pennsylvania for Vice President Harris. And it was going to be incredibly difficult. You could just feel the energy there. And people really have connected there at a very fundamental level. And that's what I tried to explain to my party. And I'm trying to explain to the party right now. It's like, this is why we lost. And this is where we need to be to continue to win for these things. And there are parts of extreme things emerging clearly on those things. And that's why I refute.
Boy, Ankit gets around. Did John Fetterman's wife leave him? I was wondering about that. Because I remember he had a stroke and she went up to Canada, and I don't see her around anymore. So see what you can find me on that. Keep going.
Used to follow that, even if that is going to cost me support in parts of the base.
Do you think Harris could have gotten a deal with Hamas?
You brought up a good point. I think I was the only Democrat early on to give President Trump credit for the peace deal.
Next. FBI Director Kash Patel confirms that more indictments are coming against corrupt deep state officials. Roll it.
Beyond those who are
it's a lot of Botox.
Do you think you've seen other crimes that might eventually get referred to justice?
Yes, we are looking at so many.
This is the channel I'm on, Real America's Voice.
Those who are in positions
They're taking over. Almost every clip now starting to come from them.
It's fully exposed. The documents
Great job, Rob
Sick. For the courts of law and make every referral we can into the Department of Justice. These indictments that you've seen and the ones that you're going to see coming up here in this near future are just the beginning. But I have to remind the audience one thing. Everybody's like, it's 7 months. What have you guys been doing? Yeah. Well, they spent 20 years building this diseased temple of corruption. It takes a little bit of time to defeat it and beat it down. And I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm asking you to look at the work the men and women of the FBI have done so far in these 7-8 months and just imagine what we're going to do come the year end.
I don't trust him. Next. Bernie Sanders and AOC just lost their minds live on TV. Not a single person clapped after this performance. These people are crazy. Roll it.
But are you saying that Senator Schumer should not be worried about a primary challenge from you?
All right.
No.
Let me jump in on this one. This is
what we're talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
This is what we're
talking about. You have a country
about.
that is falling apart. We had a housing crisis, a healthcare crisis, an education crisis, massive income and wealth inequality, a corrupt campaign finance system, and the media says, "Oh, you're going to run. What are you going to run for?" Nobody cares. So run more towards
Nobody cares. It's the House Speaker and President Trump and the Vice President saying it.
All right.
Pardon?
Well, of course, they're saying it to deflect attention away from the real issue.
Exactly.
And here, let me tell you what the real issue is. Let's see if CNN talks about it. We're living in the richest country in the history of the world, right? All right, you tell me why we're the only nation not to guarantee health care to all people, the only nation not to guarantee paid family and medical leave, why we have a $7.25 an hour minimum wage, why we have 800,000 people sleeping out on the street, why we have a president who denies the reality of climate change, why we have oligarchs on top,
climate
who have more
change,
and more
this
power
guy.
every day. Let's talk about that issue, not her own political future. She'll decide that.
Bernie, you said that by this time there wouldn't be like any people left on the planet. So that ship sailed, my friend. The climate change. It just rained for 5 straight days in Arizona for the first time. It's not heating. So you dropped global cooling, changed it to global warming, and then you couldn't back that up anymore. So now it's just climate change. Next. Why not stop narco-terrorist boats from Venezuela instead of sinking them with missiles? Roll it.
On Venezuelan boats, I want to ask you, why not have the Coast Guard stop them, which it is empowered by law to do?
The Coast Guard.
This way you can confirm who's on the boat.
Pause. Do you even hear yourself talking, you dumb reporter? Why not have the Coast Guard stop narco cartel boats from Venezuela? They're like guys that volunteer on the weekends. There's like 9 boats. They're not going to do it. Why do you care how they get stopped? But if they blow them up, why can't you just arrest them and give them a ticket? Keep going.
Or that they're doing what you suspect.
Because we've been doing that for 30 years.
That's right.
It has been totally ineffective.
You know, pause. Has anybody else noticed how everybody wants change, and if anybody does anything that's different than how things have always been done, they get slammed? We got to stop drugs from pouring into the country. Why don't you use the Coast Guard like we've been doing? Why do you have to kill the poor narco terrorists with missiles? Keep going.
Boats. Some of these boats are seriously, I mean, they're world-class speedboats, but they're not faster than missiles. But we've been trying to do that for years, and so much of the drugs, 25-30% would come in through the seas. Right now we have, I would say, none coming in through the seas. In fact, I don't know about the fishing industry. If you want to go fishing, a lot of people aren't deciding to even go fishing. We've almost totally stopped it by sea. Now we'll stop it by land. But it never worked. It never worked when you did it in a very politically correct manner.
What's the next
That's
step
right.
in this war?
Next. And let me tell you, I told you Polymarket has it at a 53% chance that we're going to actually get into it with Venezuela, because what do you think? These drug cartels operate out of Venezuela independent of the government? The government's getting a kickback. I guarantee you, if they search it, Venezuela has 2 streams of income: oil and drugs. They're paying off the government. It's a government terrorist partnership. And so you better be careful if you're Maduro. I would let the cartels get sacrificed, because if you get into it with us, I got a good guess that the Venezuelan army is not beating the U.S. Army. Roll it.
If you hate our country, if you are inciting violence, if you are siding with terrorists, we have revoked the visas of pro-Hamas individuals in our country who are engaging in some of the campus shutdowns and locking down American
There's real America's
universities.
voice again.
We are not going to tolerate illegal behavior. We're not going to allow you to side with assassins and terrorists. Having a visa to this country is a privilege. It is not a right. And if you are wishing death upon America, you won't be welcome.
Great job. Next, one of our favorite broads. Some people have actually said I was the most qualified candidate to ever run for president. Roll it.
That is a decent resume, but go ahead.
Well, some people have actually said I was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president.
I like the some people say. Very nice, but go ahead.
I'm just speaking fact.
Yeah.
There's plenty of reasons to hit a woman. You just don't do it.
Who said she was the most qualified person to ever run for president? Her mom? Virginia Beach. Sunday night. Did we get an answer on Arizona yet? Next. Great question. Roll it.
Republicans have been appealing to audiences, especially young people like myself, online using social media. Why does Republican messaging on social media seem so much more effective than Democratic messaging?
Because they don't have a message. Their message is to whine. They have nothing they want to do except take money from people who have money and give it to stupid things. That's why. Keep going.
And what can we do about it?
Well, that's a great question. I think the Republicans are effective. They have learned a lot about social media. And by the way, it doesn't hurt that their friends own all of the major...
Pause. Their friends own all the major social media. You're saying YouTube's Republican-owned? TikTok's Republican-owned? What a stupid thing to say from an extremely stupid person. Next. You guys owned every platform and took everybody off that had anything to say. That's your problem. You don't have any messaging. You just try to shut down anybody with ideas different than yours. Where Republicans have actually had to fight and win. Or conservatives, I'll say. Republicans haven't fought and won anything. Basent, our main man, our favorite guy. Roll it.
This is key for us. China is all over Central America, Latin America, Mexico, South America. It's critical that we maintain really good relations and that these are strong economic capitalist systems, is it not?
It is, and we also saw China
Pause
put on
it.
more.
This is so strategic the way Trump's doing things because he's gonna meet with Xi. I'm going to show you later in the program that the foreign minister of China said that decoupling from the United States is not feasible. So do you think China is going to back Venezuela if we get into a battle with them? It's not happening. The same way Russia wouldn't return techs to Iran. People don't want to go against the U.S. right now. And that's why now's the time to clear everything up. Keep going.
Rare earth export controls last night, and Argentina is rich in rare earths and rich in uranium, and I think they are committed to U.S. private companies coming in and being good partners with them.
So China's trying to put more export controls on minerals, rare earths, heavy rare earths, heavy and medium rare earths, some other things, related technologies. That's their usual leverage play before the big trade negotiations, correct?
Well, that and holding the American soybean farmers hostage. They politicized these soybean purchases, and most of them have gone to Brazil. And we're not going to let that happen. And I believe that the Chinese will have to come back at the end of the season and buy soybeans. But in the meantime,
why don't I just give $20 billion?
Next. Harrisburg International Airport has been hijacked to broadcast the message F Trump over the loudspeakers. Roll it.
Fuck Netanyahu and Trump. Turkish hacker Cyber Islam is here. Telegramational Cyber Islam. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Hacked by Muir Long, live free Palestine. Hacked by Muir.
The difference between Palestine and Harrisburg is minimal.
Turkish hacker Cyber Islam is here. Telegramational Cyber Islam. Hacked by Muir Long, live free Palestine. Hacked by Muir. Hacked by Cyber Islam. Fuck Netanyahu and Trump.
They hacked their PA system.
Telegramational Cyber Islam. Hacked by Muir Long, live free Palestine. Hacked by Muir. Hacked by Cyber Islam. Fuck Netanyahu and Trump. Turkish hacker Cyber Islam is here. Telegramational Cyber Islam. Hacked by Muir Long, live free Palestine.
It's like when people escape from prison. It's like with that too. I kind of root for them because that's amazing you were able to do that. So, next. Here's Bill Maher from a while back, worth hearing, where Charlie Rose on PBS was given the standard line that all religions are violent, all religions are a problem equally. And Bill Maher pushes back hard that you cannot compare Christianity and Islam. This is excellent. Roll it.
There are illiberal beliefs that are held by vast numbers of Muslim people that I don't think...
Vast number of Christians, too.
No, that's not true. Not true. Vast numbers of Christians...
That's great. See how it's amazing how all journalists just had to go into autopilot back then. Also, Christians hold vast numbers of terrible beliefs, too. No, and Bill Maher goes, no, they don't. He's not Christian, he's Jewish. Continue.
Christians do not believe that if you leave the Christian religion, you should be killed for it. Vast numbers of Christians do not treat women as second-class citizens. Vast numbers of Christians
I agree with that.
do not believe that if you draw a picture of Jesus Christ, you should get killed for it. Most Muslim people in the world do condone violence just for what you think. They do. First of all, they say it. They shout it from the...
Vast majorities of Muslims
Absolutely.
say that?
There's a Pew poll.
There's a Pew Research poll that shows it. They interviewed all the Muslim majority nations and asked what should the punishment be for adultery? What should the punishment... And the overwhelming majority was death, stoned to death. This is all news to Is he still alive, Charlie Rose? You could barely tell if he was alive when he was alive. Keep going.
Of Egypt done a few years ago, 82%, I think.
What's up, Pastor Eric?
Said stoning is the appropriate punishment for adultery. Over 80% thought death was the appropriate punishment for leaving the Muslim religion. I'm sure you know these things.
I know.
No, he doesn't know it.
But I don't
religion
believe...
is like other religions is just naive and plain wrong. It is not like other religions. The New York Times pointed out in an op-ed a couple of weeks ago that in Saudi Arabia, just since August 4th, I think it was, they have...
Someone on YouTube said, I'm a true believer, but I'm homeless and unfortunately carry a backpack. I do not steal. What would you do if I tried coming into church like this? We'd throw you out unless you got rid of your backpack. It's not the stealing we're worried about. It's what's in the backpack. But you're welcome to come, but your backpack's not. That's a universal law, not just for homeless people, also for homed people. Continue.
Beheaded 19 people, most for non-violent crimes, including homosexuality.
Those got the hands off the thief.
Right. Okay, so we're upset that ISIS is beheading people, which we should be upset about. But Saudi Arabia does it, and they're our good friends because they have oil. Right. Okay? But they do it too. This is the center of the religion. But I mean, in Mecca, where infidels, non-Muslims, are not even allowed in the holy parts of the city. I mean, right there, we don't have that example in other religions. Okay, they do behead people. Now, if they were beheading people in Vatican City, which is the equivalent of Mecca.
That's true,
Don't you think there'd be a bigger outcry about it? So this is the soft bigotry of low expectations that we have with Muslim people when they do crazy things.
Pause.
And believe.
See, here's the same. Isaiah, you think you're smart with your anti-Israel stuff, but it's all easily debunked. Aren't there gay pride parades in Israel? What's your point? You want them slaughtered like the rest of the countries? You'd be more comfortable with that? There's gay pride parades in the United States. Do you want a free country or a country where people get killed for believing the wrong thing? You know, Israel, have you heard what Israel says about Christians behind closed doors? Have you heard what Qatar says about Christians behind closed doors? What's your freaking point? You're not that smart. You're like a pseudo-intellectual. Your name is Isaiah, the name of a Jewish prophet, and you're anti-Israel. Either change your views or change your name. Because you seem dumb being named Isaiah and just typing the same anti-Israel crap everybody types, like it's some kind of irrefutable evidence. Continue.
Crazy things. Somehow it's just not talked about nearly as much.
Next. The gloves are off. Roll it.
I would like to understand the full extent to which the Biden-Harris Justice Department weaponized federal law enforcement. What do you think the committee will find out?
I think it was the worst weaponization of a political opponent in the history of the world, let alone this country. And I hope that everybody's, they're involved in it. I'm not. I'm the one that had to suffer through it and ultimately win. But what they did was criminal. Deranged Jack Smith, in my opinion, is a criminal. And I noticed his interviewer was, I think that was Weissman. And I hope they're going to look into Weissman, too. Weissman's a bad guy. And he had somebody in Lisa, who was his puppet, worked in the office really as the top person. And I think that she should be looked at very strongly. There was tremendous criminal activity having to do. If we don't have fair elections in this country, we're not going to have a country. And I've said it from the beginning, fair elections and borders. And we need also fair press, because if you don't have fair press, it's very tough. And we've got the strongest border of anybody. Nobody has a border. We have a border where the numbers just came out again. You saw 0 people came in illegally. Now, we do take people into our country legally, but 0 people. But, you're talking about a different subject. You're talking about political crime. They have committed massive political crime. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people.
What's up, Cody?
And I'm allowed to find out. I'm allowed
What's up,
to, I'm, in
Kevin?
theory, the chief law enforcement officer. But I have a very good, talented group. This is about something else. But I hope they're looking at political crime, because there's never been so much political crime against a political opponent as what I had to go through. They raided my house in Florida. It was an illegal raid. I have a lawsuit that was doing very well. And when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know what
True,
it was. I need
Charles.
to settle the lawsuit. I'll say, give me X dollars, right? And I don't know what to do with the lawsuit. It's a great lawsuit, and now I won. It sort of looks bad. I'm suing myself, right? So I don't know, but that was a lawsuit that was very strong, very powerful. They raided illegally my house in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. They went through the drawers of my young son. They went through all of the cabinets and drawers of the First Lady. She walked in, she said, wow, what happened?
Pause.
She's very...
Yeah, you know, this guy's got an axe to grind. They raided his home, went through his wife's underwear drawer, and he hasn't forgotten. And they're going to take everybody down. See, you made a gamble when you did that. The Democrats thought they'd be in power forever. And now they're in trouble, and that's why he got shot. And that's why they tried to shoot him a second time. Because they knew if he got in, everything's going down. And I'm enjoying watching everything going down. Continue.
Meticulous, and this wasn't so meticulous. As she looked into the drawers and she saw everything a mess. It's what they did against a person that just got out of office. And then you look at these corrupt people. You look at Hunter Biden. You look at the signature. As an example, the Auto Pen. I just signed so many different things. An admiral, a four-star general. I'm signing them left and right, the commissions. And by the way, I want to compliment John Thune and also Mike, our great speaker. But John Thune, all of a sudden I'm getting these things by the hundreds. I was getting one every 2 weeks. It would have been 4 years before you got them in more. So you would have had some that didn't even get in, all because of Democrat obstruction. So John Thune did a great job. I must have signed 200 into the administration. We're just about caught up. It's amazing. And so compliments to John. He had to do some things that were very tough to do that he didn't want to do, but he was forced to do it by the Democrats. And as far as the shutdown's concerned, this is a Democrat Schumer shutdown. And he's trying to do it to get relevance back into the party because he's a loser. I've known him all his life. He's always been sort of a loser, but an intelligent one. But I think he's losing IQ points with time. I think that happens. I hope it hasn't happened with me. I know if it did, you guys would.
We try and teach our children not to make fun of others who are challenged.
Next. Democrats are plotting a primary challenge against Senator John Fetterman in his coming re-election. Imagine that. Make my day. Run a leftist in Pennsylvania Democrats. Good Republican opportunity for a pickup in 2028. I don't want a pickup. I would rather have him than Dr. Oz, to be honest with you. It would be a mistake if the Democrats did that. Next. The U.S. has more rare earth minerals than any nation on earth. Roll it.
In New York, sitting right next to me, no less. The man is Stephen Moore. There he is, right next to me. Both sides are playing hardball, China and the United States. And the market doesn't care. The market's gone straight up. What's going on here?
Yeah, the two biggest trading countries in the world. I want to go back to this mining issue because I'm very frustrated by this. We have a new study at Unleash Prosperity that by one of the top geologists in the country who is now going to be running the U.S. Geological Survey, which does has oversight of all the mining. We have more of these minerals than any other country in the world. So this has been an error that we've imposed on ourselves, and we have to, as Interior Secretary Doug Burgum is saying, we have to mine, baby, mine, just like we drill, baby, drill. And I liken this situation, Stuart, to what happened in the 70s and 80s when OPEC had the cartel that controlled the oil market. We have handed this cartel over to China with respect to these minerals. Why did we do that? Why did we do that? We should be mining for the resources. We have more than they do.
The global crowd, the global warming crowd, the environmentalists, they don't like mining. Right. Period.
But you know what? You know who has the worst mining standards? China does. We have the same thing with the drilling. We have the best environmental standards, and the Middle Easterners have the
power we gave to the Greens was extraordinary.
Exactly. It is,
and it's got to be unraveled.
Once upon a time, the United States was the mineral capital of the world. We were the number one.
See it all coming together now. Why do you think? You know what I couldn't figure out. I love you too, Tyler. You know what I couldn't figure out was why that Doug Burgum guy that's a business executive was put in charge of national parks. He's an oil guy. And then why is Lee Zeldin in charge of the Environmental Protection Agency when he doesn't care about the environment? Now we have our answer. because we have all the rare earth minerals that are needed. They just can't get them because of the EPA, national parks, environmentalists. So the people that are in charge of it now are going to deregulate it. Trump planned this thing for 4 years. It's good that he sat out. It gave him a breather, and the whole system's in place to flip it even better. Continue.
A country of mining, and now we're not mining for anything. The 15 major minerals that we need for production, for everything from national defense to technology to manufacturing, China and Russia now dominate those markets. It's crazy.
So how do we reverse that?
Mine.
But you can't reverse that in the short term.
It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to get our mining, but we got to get started tomorrow. But the other point is Trump is using the trade tariff threat to get China to. Right now, they're essentially embargoing these critical minerals that we need for our microchips and so on. So it's an ugly situation. We put ourselves in this situation, but Trump is going to use the tariff threat, I think, to get China to open up those markets.
Well, that's the only leverage we've got.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad somebody listened to Lissa.
Wave a magic wand and suddenly produce.
Tell me what you invested in.
Here immediately. You can't do that.
It's going to take.
You've got to bridge that 2 years before we can get this stuff.
I'm just angry because we put ourselves in this position, and it could really hurt our economy, just as the OPEC countries did in the 70s and 80s.
Can you imagine if we were now dealing with President Kamala Harris?
Well,
I have to go there. I have to.
But look, I think, at how quickly, once we had the shale revolution, we went from, we are now the #1 producer of oil. It'll take a few years, but we can be #1 again. That's my message.
So we should be.
Yeah.
What's up, Susie? Next.
Thank you very much.
Be with you.
See you later.
Yep.
There's our 4 churches. Saturday, 10 a.m., Arizona. Saturday, 6 p.m., Los Angeles. Santa Ana, to be proper. Fort Worth, Sunday at 9 a.m., Pittsburgh at 8 and 10. I'll see you in Pittsburgh in person. Love you. Be at church. Next. Roll it.
How do you think this shutdown reflects on Chuck Schumer's leadership?
Well, I think it reflects more on Mike Johnson's leadership and President Trump's leadership. This is a leadership which said it's okay to give well, how do you feel? You tell me. Think it's a good idea to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the richest people in the country and then make massive cuts to health care for working class people?
I think Chuck Schumer has voted for continuing resolutions 13 times in the last 4 years, and he has the opportunity to vote for one again, but he's refusing to come to the table.
Well, I think, look.
Let me hear the last part again.
I think Chuck Schumer has voted for continuing resolutions 13 times in the last 4 years, and he has the opportunity to vote for one again, but he's refusing to come to the table.
Well, I think, look.
Yeah, look. Sanders knows nothing. He should retire to one of his 4 homes while he's worried about a housing crisis. Why don't you give 3 years up? You freaking phonies. Next. In a stunning moment, a Democrat man calls into C-SPAN and decides he's had it with the Democrat Party. Roll it.
I think I'm going to be leaving the Democrat Party because this happens. This happens too often, where they're blaming the opposite party when they know they can do the right thing. They need to do the right thing and reopen this government instead of keeping it shut down like they're hijacking the American people. I've seen it before. We've seen them vote the right way when they're in power. So why the hell can't they vote the right way when they're not in power? So get this government back open, get the American people what they deserve. And this is basically a Schumer shutdown from what I've seen, from what I've been watching on C-SPAN, what they show and what they show the Democrats whining and crying and blaming. That's what I see.
Next. Democrats have unapologetically argued for putting illegals on Medicaid. Several Dem governors have already done it. Why lie about it now? The American people aren't fooled. I won't give an inch on CNN in my latest debate. Take it away, Scott Jennings.
There are political power players. Scott Jennings and Karen Finney are here.
Well, the president did try to bring them into the room the other day, and they wouldn't budge. I mean, look, the facts here are pretty simple. The Republican Party has put on the floor and voted for a clean, continuing resolution, no changes. These are Biden budget numbers, by the way, and numbers that Democrats have voted for 13 times. Nothing up our sleeves here, Caitlin. They're trying to keep the government open long enough to negotiate things like the health care issue, which you were just debating, which I actually think maybe Republicans will wind up dealing on that. But they're not going to do it under duress, and they're not going to do it under threat of rolling back all the Medicaid reforms that were done this summer. So I think President Trump tried to bring the Democrats in, and at the end of the day, I think the American people know here they're looking at two parties. One's trying to do a bunch of funny business. One's trying to keep the doors open. And right now, I don't think the funny business side is winning in the eyes of the American people.
Well, I just want to correct something. You know, Scott, you know how much I respect you, but let's be honest here.
I don't need to be corrected, and I don't need to be told I'm dishonest, Karen. But by all means, go ahead. We're stunned. I'll be honest with you. We're stunned.
Finally, somebody clapped back on one of these mouthy broads.
Principally immigration populations and government workers. This is what your party relies on, and you've closed shop on government in Washington, D.C., and eventually they're going to get tired of it. There is no reason this government cannot be left open.
75 million Americans who voted for Kamala Harris were all immigrants?
No,
that's not true.
I'm saying I'm listening to Democratic arguments about most policy issues, and I'm looking at Democratic energy, and it mostly has to do with things to do with immigrants, illegal and some legal, and things to do with government bureaucrats. And right now you're putting one of your constituencies out of business.
Can I say one thing, which is that people who are in the country illegally cannot get these subsidies that we're talking about.
Sure they can.
No, they can't.
No, they can't. It's federal law, Scott.
Who do you think pays when they go to the emergency room? It's the Medicaid emergency program.
Going to the emergency room is not getting an Obamacare subsidy.
You guys are conflating. You guys are conflating these issues. You're conflating these issues.
And you're being dishonest with
the subsidies are a separate issue. The Medicaid program cuts are a different thing.
Right, but I'm talking about
subsidies. And the Obamacare stuff are two different issues. And I said the subsidies may get negotiated over time, but what Democrats want to do is roll back what the Republican Medicaid reforms were. They want, look, I don't understand why everybody's so mad. For time immemorial, Democrats have argued that it's good. It's good for illegal immigrants to get Medicaid. Every candidate for president in 2020 raised their hand for it. In the big, beautiful bill debate, they argued it was good policy. I can't believe there's an about-face in the Democratic Party on it today.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for...
So they are all lying. Again, how these people lie when everything's on video. I could see if it was 1880, everybody threw all the newspapers away. We have no way to prove anything. You said everything on video. Continue.
Documented immigrants.
Back it up. Play it again. You bunch of lying bastards.
There's an about-face in the Democratic Party on it today.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
I got a question for Karen, but Scott, I will say, people who are in the country illegally also can't get Medicaid.
Sure they can. Sure they can.
They can't get Medicaid.
They also can't register to vote. They also can't register to vote, but we just found one in Maryland who was running the Des Moines school system.
Oh my God, one!
I mean, I'm telling you, you guys say these things can't happen, and then they happen.
But I'm just saying it's federal law. And
you can run cover. You can run cover for it if you want, but they do get federal tax money. They get federal tax money. Ask Jake. He had it on today.
I'm just saying it's against
reimbursements to hospitals. Some of which does go to undocumented immigrants using health care there to those hospitals.
The amount of money that actually is going towards people who are undocumented is...
They said that no federal money gets to illegal immigrants for health care. And on their own channel, they said it did a few hours earlier. These are the stupidest, lying scumbag people. Continue.
Such a small portion of the Medicaid cuts or the Affordable Care Act.
Support giving illegal immigrants taxpayer-funded health care, yes or no?
We support giving money,
The answer is yes. You expanded health care access in 2024 under Medicaid.
For senior citizens.
Governor, after the election, you said, reclaiming my time.
Next. Roll it.
Rivers in rural areas were on fire because of corporations poisoning the people who lived in those areas, poor middle-class communities, getting poisoned and dumped on by corporations like Deloitte and 3M, pouring chemicals.
Deloitte is an accounting firm.
They want to call it a Democratic priority.
She accused an accounting firm of dumping chemicals in a river and setting it on fire. Not the brightest. Next. Russian. Okay, here we go. Here's a little take. Here's a little trip around the world about what's going on war-wise. Russian soldiers refused to surrender and chose the tank out option instead. So they're in this house. They were told to surrender, and they wouldn't. So this is what happened. Roll it.
Такий що пиздец. Спочатку беха двойка виїхала на тих підерів. Зараз вже танк, блядь, напряму в метрі стоїть.
See, they're in the house. There's the tank. They told them to come out. They won't surrender and come out. So do we raid the house or... It's not the Ukrainians laughing.
You talk peace and disarmament to the world. And here you are wiping out a race of people.
Next. Brave heroes, rest in peace. Roll it. Pause. So here's what war's like in Ukraine, Russia. You're in your truck with your gun, and you see this sucker coming at you, and it's not coming to film and upload to Facebook. It is armed with explosives. It's called a suicide drone. And this guy's got 2 shots with a shotgun. I don't understand why no one else was helping him shoot. Play from the beginning. Miss. That's the end, folks.
Comrade, here is something that might be of interest to you.
За победу! Why's the other guy not helping him? Little Moscow nightclub music. Different day. Next. YouTuber visits an open drug market deep in a Brazilian favela run by notorious gangs. The guy had a belt full of grenades. So this is amazing how the drugs are just laid out like ketchup and mustard packets. Roll it.
Aquí no puedo. No. He's right. There's many guys with guns again. ¿Cuánto cuesta? O banho, tira a foto desse banho, do banho. Ah, CV, bro, eu tenho amigos de CV. R$2. R$2. Gramo.
It's not mustard and mayonnaise.
Isso.
It's not ketchup.
Isso cuesta $4.
Oh, peel and eat cheese.
Cara, en Londres, eu trabalhava em Londres. ¿Cuánto cuesta esto en Londres? 3 gramos.
3 gramas é quanto lá?
Es casi $200.
R$1, 3 gramas?
Bro, isso é $200.
Ai, bagulho é tu transferir esse pó de 20 pra lá.
Não puedo, me mirou, mamá. Policía.
Surprised they were cool with him filming.
Fica gravando na motinha que fica passando TikTok.
Pero no se puede. No.
É França. A França.
Isso aqui. A volar, muito obrigado. Obrigado, man. They were selling anything you can imagine. The guy had a belt full of grenades. It's insane, guys, but that's the reality here in favela.
Belt full of grenades. That's pretty cool. I would love to walk around with a belt full of grenades. Next. Elizabeth City, North Carolina, this Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. Next. U.S. drone stalks members of the Mexican Sinaloa cartel. The cartel opens fire on the drone after tracking it with equipment. Roll it.
Oh, he's telling the guy to look. Is that the top of the flat mountain?
Yeah.
So that's Chupitos people.
Yep. He's got a rifle with him too. Oh, he's gonna try to shoot.
The heyday of the cartels is coming to an end.
That's a little shit.
There you go.
Shots fired. He's getting ready to fire.
Did he fire?
Yeah, he was shooting.
Ballsy.
They're talking to somebody. Someone else is. Oh, there we go. That guy's shooting at me. There we go.
There we go. What's that?
Next. Azov Battalion. Roll it.
Руки за голову! Руки за голову, быстро! Бачиш його? Руки за голову! Позывной какой у тебя? Позывной.
His Call of Duty call sign?
Сколько дней здесь сидишь? Ты! Как сюда пришел? Вторая рука где? Вставай! Медленно вставай! Контри! Ты на меня стрелял, стоп! Ты что, бессмертный, сюда пришел вообще? Вставай быстро! Быстро вставай!
Russians are funny people without trying to be funny.
Быстро заходи в дом. Быстро! Сейчас помощь дадим. Давай заползай. Ползи.
На улице есть кто-то? Нет.
Быстро, быстро заползай, потому что кровь течет. Нужно тебе быстро помощь надать. Говори, где тебе ранение?
Man, clean that place. Looks like my college dorm
Кибитка
room.
справа.
Есть турникет? Пацаны, да, есть.
Там медицина.
Они вот здесь.
Сколько дней назад сюда пришел?
Я?
Да.
В общем...
Сколько здесь вот сюда пришел, в этом районе?
This war needs to end. It's
Здесь сидишь в этой кабинке.
stupid war.
Хорошо, все, сиди.
For what?
Поможем.
You're fighting over this shed?
Мене вистрілив, я ти куди-нибудь попав.
Comrade, here is something that might be of interest to you.
Next. All right, back to Mexico. The Sinaloa State Police. Roll it. Dang. You know you have a crime problem. You have to have that guy mounted on the back of a state trooper. Look at all of them. What a place with great food. Next. A streamer with traffic law savvy confronted and sent away federal agents harassing Latino youths in Illinois. This is interesting. Roll it. Illinois.
How old are you? 17. You're not supposed to stop him. First of all, you guys tried to stop him over there. I was right behind you guys. And I told him to go because you guys were supposed to stop him. It's an illegal traffic stop. Get away from me. Back up. That was an illegal traffic stop. That was an illegal traffic stop. In Illinois, it's an illegal traffic stop. So get the hell away from him. He's 17. How old are you? What's your name? Axel. And who is this to you? Okay, and what's his name?
They don't have a name. They don't have a name. They are.
What's his name? Richard what? Richard Martinez. Do you know his date of birth? No, it's okay. He's 17. You guys detained him for no reason. This is an illegal stop. It's an illegal stop. You guys tried to stop him over there when you guys weren't supposed to. Thank you.
Look, she got him to set him free.
Yo tengo licencia. ¿Tienes las llaves contigo?
Sí, yo puedo manejar también.
¿Tienes tu licencia contigo? Para el carro aquí. Where are you guys taking him? Where are you guys taking him? That was illegal. You guys tried to stop him over there. You tried to stop him over there, and that was illegal. It's an illegal traffic stop in Illinois. It's an illegal traffic stop. Él te dijo quién era cuando los paró. Él les dijo quién era cuando ustedes los paró. ¿Le dijo quién era?
No, he didn't say nothing.
Exactly. They didn't even identify who they are.
Pause. And I know most of you watching, because you're conservatives, think she's a jerk and are rooting for the federal enforcement. But people have to follow the law. Because if one day, if it was turned, there's dangerous precedents being set. So if you're just like, hey, whatever, let the federal agents do whatever they want. That's a bad, you're not going to feel that way when the Democrats are in power. Let the federal agents do whatever they want. So it's good people are held accountable to the law. Keep going.
Right here, guys, everybody share VJJ8080. First of all, they tried to do an illegal traffic stop over there, which is illegal in Illinois. Doesn't even have a car plate right here.
This lady knows the law, man.
P381695. This is illegal. This was an illegal traffic stop over there. Didn't even identify this house. First of all, why are you wearing a mask? Take the mask off. At least he cannot wear a mask. ¿Cómo se llama? Su fecha de nacimiento.
She got him.
Where's your front plate? Where's your front plate? trying to do, and mind you, he almost tried to hit me because I did block him. Now what? First of all, an illegal traffic stop, which is illegal in Illinois.
It's like a young Latina Judge
Fucking
Judy.
goofies. There's a Texas license plate. Texas license plate.
Man, it's gotta suck to be a federal agent and they give you a minivan.
I know you see me, so you can't hit me. If you hit me, it's on you. VJJ 8080, a Texas license plate. And by y'all, we're on Larkin Avenue.
Next. Northwest Chicago suburb. ICE agents rip 15-year-old girl from car, slam her to ground. She screams, "I'm 15," as man kneels on her neck. Just showing you what's happening. I've got no thoughts. Just observing. Roll it.
I can't hear people. It's all back there. Yeah, they're at home. I learned.
Next. Undercover ICE are in the protest against ICE. You got to be careful going to those protests. It's a good way to round everybody up. Roll it. Next. Oh, what a well-timed ad placement. Next. The odds of Democrats winning the House have plummeted 20%. Roll it.
Well, we were looking at the Democrats with a very clear shot of taking control of the U.S. House of Representatives, according to the Kalshi prediction market odds. We saw them at an 83% chance. But those odds have gone plummeting down. Now we're talking about just a 63% chance, while the GOP's chances up like a rocket, up like gold, up from 17% to now a 37% chance.
You know, Dashukowicz works for them. It is so ridiculous to mandate masks and then switch to saying that ICE can't wear masks. You know what you should do just to confuse them in California? Wear a surgical mask. Next. China foreign minister, decoupling from the United States is not a realistic or rational option. That's called caving. Next. A massive development. President Trump and Scott Bessent are planning to use the IRS to dismantle left-wing funding networks of violence and Antifa. This would be accomplished via the IRS's criminal division, per Wall Street Journal. They're going down. Next. Nearly all members of the Pentagon press corps are seen leaving the Pentagon together earlier today after turning in their press badges. They're done. They won't allow reporters in the Pentagon anymore. Out you go. Next. Looks increasingly likely. 56% chance, according to Polymarket, that U.S. and Venezuela engage in military action by December 31st. Clear the air, Britt Gusmus. Why is Britt refusing to appear on camera? Father, thank you for every viewer today. I pray that you would bless their lives. I pray for my friend who just buried his daughter. I pray that you would be a supernatural comfort to them at this time. In Jesus' name. I pray you'd flood that home with your love, and you'd bind up their broken heart by the anointing. In Jesus' name. Lift every burden that every person's carrying today. In Jesus' name. I thank you for it and give you praise. All God's people said amen. If you have never given your life to Jesus Christ, please do so right now. Say this out loud. Heavenly Father, I admit that I've sinned. I repent. I believe in my heart you raised Jesus from the dead. I confess with my mouth Jesus is Lord and my Savior. Right now, I receive forgiveness. By the blood of Jesus, I am saved. In Jesus' name, amen. If you prayed that prayer, welcome to the family of God. Please do what it says on the bottom of the screen. Go to revivaltoday.com and click I just got saved. When you fill that out, I'm going to send you my wife's new devotional book, The Path to Dominion, a 16-week devotional to walk in God's plan for your life as a way to help you get started on in your Christian life. I got 4 good churches for you to attend. Arizona, Los Angeles, Fort Worth, Texas, Pittsburgh. Saturdays, West Coast, Sundays, Texas and East Coast. I would love to see you. If you would like to stand with us, as many of you have, we had almost $1 million come in last week. So I want to thank you for your giving. As we keep it up, we got 5,000 kids that we feed every day. As a way of saying thank you for your giving, I'm going to send you this lovely t-shirt. Blessed is the peacemaker. God bless the peacemaker. That's from the Jerusalem Post. It'll look great on you. I'm going to send it to you as soon as we receive your seed. Revivaltoday.com. You click Give Now. Zelle, Venmo, PayPal, #donate, Apple Pay. You can text GIVE to 75767. And then if you want to mail a large check, this is County Pump and Supply. They are our new sponsor. If you want to knock them off the wall, $50,000 from your company or church or business, think of what great advertising that is. Everybody that's watching basically wants to help support a Christian company. And so that's our thank you for anybody that sends $50,000 or more. Yeah, glad to hear it, Chris. Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania, 15329. I will be on tonight at 8 p.m. teaching out of the Bible. Somebody was asking if I'm preaching somewhere tonight. I'll be right here with you, same place. Please share the broadcast before you log off. We love you. God bless every one of you.
I'm going to eat some more of this if you're not careful. Oh. Oh, good. Oh, my God. You didn't have lunch, right?
Wow.
What's it like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan? Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
You.
My mother says it's my family.
I never would have dreamed in a million years I'd see so many struggling Americans defies belief. We share the same fears and the same mountain grief. It's like a wave of desperation crashing over me. So many lives roughed up, so much anger, strain in each and every direction. I feel the pain, and straight through the radio waves, the fake news plays till it stays stuck in your head for days and days. Who would have thought biding your time, just trying to survive, just towing their line? after scraping all your nickels and dimes, that they would ruin everything and break the world like this. I kept on telling you that they would turn it all to shit. I know I hit a nerve with puppet master globalist powers, cause they lie about me every day for hours and hours. And now they're trying to bring me down with the government. I'm loving it. They built the world on bullshit, and now we taking it on. Fight in America, there ain't no hope for your kids. Fight in America, illegals and inflation shit. Fight in America, never seen crime like this. We give it everything. Tell me this ain't all we get. Fight in America, there ain't no hope for your kids. Fight in America, illegals and inflation shit. Fight in America, never seen crimes like this. We give it everything. Tell me this ain't all we get.
Let's go, Brandon.
Why are you detaining me? You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Oh my goodness. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Oh my goodness. It's you, boy. Is it worth you losing your job? Cause you bought to. Cause you ain't got no reason.
I'm Jonathan Shuttlesworth, and I've met a lot of pastors on the road that wanted to have a revival but weren't sure how to go about setting it up. So I wanted to do this video to tell you a couple things. Number one, I'm sure you see somebody flying around in a jet and think, what is the enormous expense to have you come to our church? The answer is, it's zero. Acts 20:34, the Apostle Paul said, I've always taken care of my expenses and the expenses of those who travel with me. We have no minimum requirements. We have no honorarium. Our team is taken care of by us. We book our own hotels. I've done that my whole traveling ministry. All we do is receive a love offering as Paul instructed in the Bible. That's it. We're not under any financial pressure, and we don't put you under any financial pressure. Secondly, what I do is a little different than what a lot of other traveling ministries do. We don't do conferences and we don't do ticketed events. I don't generally do one-night meetings. I like revivals. I like seeing a church explode with the power of God. Sinners get saved. As the week goes on, sinners bring more people. And really, you can see 10 years of church work accomplished in 1 week of a strong revival meeting. That's what I like to see done. I don't care about the size of the church. I care about seeing God hit the place. And whatever you start with, seeing it multiply. So what does it take for me to come to your church if you're interested? An invitation. So the information for an invitation is on the screen. I look forward to hearing from you genuinely. If you're a pastor and you want to see God shake your region, I will partner with you in that. I want to see that happen. So I'll look forward to hearing from you and meeting.